Okay, so welcome to this video. So what I'll be doing today is we'll be looking more at the Form 5 work, and we'll be looking at solving simultaneous equations with one linear and one nonlinear. So let's say we have y is equal to x squared plus 3x, and let's also say we have y is equal to x plus 3. Now, this question here you need to do it in sections basically. Now, the very first part that you can actually do, which I'll be just switching between colors as we actually go along so you can identify the sections in the video, is we're going to first just make it one equation. So what do I mean by that? So let's say this is first step, and we're making it one equation. So all we need to do is we're writing everything else that's beyond y. So what we're going to have is x squared plus 3x is equal to x plus 3. Now, notice we have an equal sign here, and we don't want it like this. We want it as one, in this case, a quadratic. So what we do is we'll be moving everything that's on this one side to go over the equal sign. Now, in doing this, I'll be taking it step by step so you can actually keep abreast with what I'll actually be doing. So let's say here we're going to have x squared plus 3x. So notice here we have positive x. When we take it over the equal sign, it is now going to be negative x. And we're going to have this equals to 3. If you want, you could just maintain the plus 3 in front for simplicity. So here we're going to have x squared plus. So we have 3x minus x, which is basically saying 3 minus 1, which is going to give us 2. And we're going to write back x, which is equal to our plus 3. So now we're going to move the plus 3 over the equal sign. So we're going to have x squared plus 2x minus 3, which is now going to be equal to 0. So that there is our first step. So let me just bracket this part here off now. And let me just switch to another color. So let's go here. In our second step, what we'll be doing is we will be factorizing. I'll be using what is the AC method. So the AC method that we're making use of is going to be what is the quadratic is written in, where we have an A value, a B value, and a C value. Now, the A value is whatever number is associated, or the number, let's say the number that's in front of x squared. I'm trying to make use of terms that students that are unfamiliar with this will be able to better understand. So if you look here at x squared, notice we don't have a number here. So the number here in front would be 1. So let's just put a 1 here. Now this here is maybe where you can better understand what I'm talking about. For b, notice we have 2 in front of x. So the value that we're going to have for b is 2. And then for c, it's going to be the number by itself. So this is the number here by itself. So this is minus 3. So what AC means is we're going to actually multiply A, which is 1, times C, which is minus 3. So we have negative 3 as our solution. Now, as I've been advising my students, just make use of your calculator when it comes to working with the negative and positive numbers, because some persons still don't understand it properly. So you just use your calculator. So we have 1 times negative 3, which is negative 3. And then we have our factors, and we're going to do positive for focusing on primarily factors of 3. Now, factors of 3, always think of it like doing your basic multiplication. So we say 1 times 3 is equal to 3. Then of course you can say 3 times 1 is equal to 3, but you don't need to do this because it's already represented here. 1 times 3 and 3 times 1 is generally the same solution you're going to arrive at. Because notice that the numbers are already represented. You just have it switched around. Now, this is the easy part per se. However, you need to actually then ask yourself this. When I add or subtract, it needs to be equal to whatever b is. And in this case, b is 2. Right? So also, what I'd also recommend is put the larger number in front so that it's easier for you to actually work with. So we'll put 3 in front in both cases. And then we have 3 plus 2 and 3. Sorry, let me just erase that. That's a mistake. So it's going to be 3 plus, and remember again, it's 1. Remember, we're using this here. So 3 plus 1 is equal to 2. That's not correct, so this is out. And 3 minus 1 is equal to 2, which is correct. So we can actually make use of these two numbers in this order. So all you need to do at this step, and I'll actually create more videos in relation to that aspect, is how we factorize using AC method, is you just need to make 2 brackets and put it equal to 0. So in completing this here, we're going to put x in front in both brackets. Now notice here it's 3, positive 3, so you're going to write plus 3. And here you're going to write minus 1, because here it says minus 1. And that's basically it. So with this step now completed, you could then move on to the next step. So let me just bracket this off here. And let's go with green. So in the next step, what we actually will be doing is we'll be solving for x. Now notice we have 2 brackets, so which means we should have 2 answers for x. So first one is x plus 3 is equal to 0. So like before, we're looking at we want x by itself, so we'll be moving this plus 3 over. So x is equal to the opposite. So we're just going to change the sign and then put 3. So x is equal to negative 3. And we have x minus 1 is equal to 0. So again, we're moving this plus 1 and we're going to carry it over the equal sign. So it's negative here, so it's plus 1. Now, just notice something. When you have a positive number, you don't need to write plus 1 or the addition sign in front of it. Let's just say it's implied. So we just solved for the values of x. Now there's one last thing for you to actually do. And the last thing is for you to solve for the values of y. So since you have 2 x values, you need to also have 2 y values. Now you always try to make use of your linear equation. So let's move into the very last step here now. Let me go with purple. So we're going to say when x is equal to minus 3, we're going to put y is equal to x plus 3. And y is equal to, notice we say x is equal to minus 3, so we have minus 3 plus 3, which is equal to 0. However, we also have when x is equal to 1. So y is equal to x plus 3, y is equal to 1 plus 3, y is equal to 4. And that's basically it. So we have our first step to have it written as one equation, in this case a quadratic. In our second step, we look at factorizing using the AC method to arrive at our 2 brackets that we have here. Our third step, we're solving for x. And in solving for x, we actually use each bracket individually, equating it to 0. And we have the answer here to be negative 3 and 1. And then our final step, when x is equal to negative 3, which is what we have here, we're substituting negative 3 wherever we see x. So we see x here. That's why we put negative 3 here. Negative 3 plus 3 is equal to 0. And in this case, when x is equal to 1, where if we see x, we just put 1, 1 plus 3 is 4, and that's it. Now I know this seems a little bit long, but that's me explaining it. If you keep practicing, you'll actually be able to solve these questions very quickly. So I hope this video has found you well, and do look forward to the next one.